Imagine a countdown, not to a holiday, but to a cosmic event that could redefine reality itself. In just 24 hours from October 29th, 2025, a mysterious object, hidden until now behind the blinding glare of our sun, will either disintegrate into a shower of harmless dust, or it will unleash a cosmic phenomenon so profound, so utterly unprecedented, that it could permanently rewrite the entire saga of human history. You might think you're already familiar with this celestial visitor. You might believe you know exactly what the object known as 3i Atlas truly is, but I promise you, what you think you know is fundamentally, terrifyingly wrong. Consider the clues, the perplexing Mars images, curiously withheld by NASA during a suspiciously timed government shutdown, the inexplicable presence of a colossal 33 billion-ton mass, an astronomical anomaly that, by all known laws of physics, simply should not exist in that particular location. And then there's the chilling alignment, a precise, almost impossible synchronization with the legendary 1977 WOW signal, an event with an infinitesimally small, a mere 0.6% chance of occurring, by pure random cosmic coincidence. All of these disparate, unsettling pieces of evidence converge, pointing relentlessly towards one singular, utterly terrifying truth. What I'm about to unveil, the journey we're about to embark upon together, will irrevocably shatter every preconceived notion you hold about alien life, about the ancient forgotten history of Mars, and ultimately, about the predetermined fate of humanity itself. Prepare yourselves, because between the dates of November 21st and December 5th, something profound and potentially cataclysmic could very well reach our unsuspecting home, Earth. Now, as we stand on the precipice of such monumental revelations, I urge you to participate in this cosmic unfolding. Hit that like button to spread the word, and subscribe to stay with us as this incredible story develops. And most importantly, I want to hear your voice. Tell me in the comments section below, do you truly believe this is merely just a comet, an ordinary celestial snowball, or is something far, far bigger, something infinitely more significant, truly happening out there in the depths of space? We are accustomed to observing the cosmos through the cold, impartial lens of telescopes and scientific instruments, measuring distances and cataloguing phenomena. But what if there was another way to perceive the universe? What if the human mind, untethered from the limitations of physical sight, could glimpse truths hidden from even our most advanced technology? This is precisely the realm we enter when we begin remote viewing the mothership. For decades, certain individuals, often working under highly controlled conditions, have claimed abilities to perceive information about distant targets without using their conventional senses. These aren't parlor tricks or vague predictions. We're talking about structured psychic methodologies, rigorously developed and often tested, designed to tap into what some call the collective unconscious, or a universal information field. And when these highly trained remote viewers, applying their unique skills, turn their attention to the enigmatic object known as 3i Atlas, their consistent findings were not merely astonishing, they were utterly paradigm-shattering. Across multiple independent sessions, utilizing blind protocols where viewers had no prior knowledge of the target, the descriptions converged with uncanny precision. They did not see a conventional comet, a mere icy rock tumbling through the void, leaving a dusty tail in its wake. No, what they consistently perceived was something far more profound, far more deliberately constructed. They described 3i Atlas as nothing less than a colossal mothership. Imagine, if you can, a vessel of unimaginable scale, not merely hundreds of meters but kilometers in length and width. To put that into perspective, picture a city, not a small town but a sprawling urban landscape, somehow propelled through the vacuum of space. How could such a gargantuan structure exist? What kind of civilization could conceive and construct such a marvel? The remote viewers elaborated, sketching out a picture of an object that defies our current understanding of both natural celestial bodies and advanced engineering. They described it as an intricate fusion of biological and mechanical parts. This isn't just metal and circuits, it's a living architecture, a symbiotic design where organic structures integrate seamlessly with artificial components, hinting at a technology so far beyond our own that it blurs the very lines between life and machine. Is it a self-repairing vessel that grows and adapts, Does its very fabric pulse with a form of life, a sentient ship navigating the cosmic ocean? The implications are staggering, forcing us to question our definitions of intelligence, of engineering, and of life itself. And within this vast, almost incomprehensible structure, the visions continued. The remote viewers reported the presence of millions of dormant beings. Millions. This wasn't a small exploratory craft with a handful of occupants. This was a vast population, an entire civilization, perhaps in a state of suspended animation, travelling across vast interstellar distances. Picture them, countless forms lying in quiet repose, their life functions slowed to an imperceptible crawl, awaiting a time, a destination, a purpose. What kind of beings are these? Are they humanoid, or something utterly alien to our biology? What kind of technology could sustain millions of lives in such a state for millennia, perhaps even eons, through the harsh, unforgiving vacuum of space? The sheer scale of this dormant armada speaks to a civilization with immense foresight, advanced biological understanding, and a mastery over time and space that we can only dream of. It's a vision that transforms 3i Atlas from a curious astronomical blip into a colossal Noah's Ark, carrying the remnants or the seeds of an alien species across the cosmic expanse, a silent, sleeping leviathan on an unknown mission. The level of detail reported by these remote viewers extended beyond mere generalities. They spoke of hexagonal patterns with shifting lights, adorning the exterior of this immense vessel. Envision a surface not smooth and uniform like a manufactured hull, but one alive with geometric complexity. Hexagons, a naturally efficient shape found in everything from beehives to the molecular structure of certain crystals, were described as interlocking, forming intricate mosaics across the ship's surface, and within these patterns lights pulsed and shifted not randomly, but with a deliberate, almost communicative rhythm. What were these lights? Were they indicators of internal processes, like the windows of a sprawling city at night, revealing the bustling activity within? Or were they a form of exterior communication, a language of light signals broadcast across the cosmos, perhaps a warning or an invitation? Could they be part of an energy collection system, absorbing stellar radiation, or a sophisticated camouflage designed to mimic cosmic phenomena, changing its appearance to evade detection? The very idea of a ship that literally shimmers and reconfigures its external patterns challenges our perception of how advanced vessels might interact with their environment, making the very fabric of the ship a dynamic, living display. Perhaps even more startling was the consistent report of a spray ahead of it. Now think about a comet. A comet, by its very nature, leaves a tail behind it, a stream of gas and dust ejected as it heats up from the sun's radiation. But a spray ahead of it, this seemingly minor detail utterly contradicts every known principle of cometary physics. This isn't a natural occurrence, it points directly to an active, directed expulsion of matter or energy. This spray aligns eerily with scientific hypotheses about advanced propulsion systems. Could it be a plasma drive creating a field ahead of the ship to reduce drag or manipulate spacetime? Is it a form of exotic matter ejection, generating thrust that pushes the ship forward? Imagine the colossal energy required to generate such a sustained spray from a vessel kilometers in size. This isn't the passive drift of a cosmic ice ball. This is the controlled, deliberate maneuvering of a technologically sophisticated craft. It suggests a mastery of physics so profound that it allows for propulsion methods that we can only theoretically ponder, hinting at technologies capable of manipulating gravity, inertia, or even the very fabric of space-time itself to achieve velocities and maneuvers unimaginable to our current science. It signifies intention, control, and a purpose that is anything but random. As if these physical descriptions weren't unsettling, enough some remote viewers perceived something far more profound, a consciousness. One viewer in particular reported sensing a non-human consciousness with a dismissive attitude emanating from 3i Atlas. Try to imagine that sensation. It wasn't hostile, not actively malicious, but rather an overwhelming sense of profound indifference. The analogy provided was chillingly precise, like a human watching an insect. Pause for a moment and truly consider the weight of that comparison. How do we, as humans, perceive an insect? We might observe it with a fleeting curiosity, or dismiss it entirely as insignificant. We might even inadvertently crush it, not out of malice, but because its existence is simply too trivial to register in our grand scheme of things. To imagine an intelligence so vastly superior, so far beyond our comprehension that it views all of humanity, our struggles, our achievements, our very existence with such casual disregard, is a humbling, almost terrifying thought. It strips away any comforting illusion of our own cosmic importance, suggesting that whatever intelligence inhabits 3i Atlas, it operates on a completely different plane of existence, a scale of awareness where human civilization is merely a fleeting, almost imperceptible flicker in the vastness of time and space. This isn't the benevolent watcher of science fiction. It's an entity with its own agenda, its own cosmic journey, for whom our planet might be little more than a fleeting waypoint, a biological sample, or a resource to be passively observed, not engaged with. Adding another layer of mystifying purpose to the enigma of 3i Atlas, a different team of remote viewers reported perceiving what they described as homing beacon signals. These weren't radio waves or light pulses in the conventional sense, but a kind of energetic signature, a subtle yet unmistakable directive signal. It was as if the colossal vessel was not merely travelling aimlessly, but was actively seeking a specific destination, drawn by an invisible thread, and the destination. These psychic perceptions strongly suggested that 3i Atlas was a relic, a remnant from an ancient, once thriving Martian civilization, and it was now, after an unfathomable journey, finally returning home. Think of the implications. Mars, once a desolate red desert, transformed in our imagination into a vibrant living world, home to a civilization advanced enough to construct and launch such a monumental vessel. What happened to them? Why did they leave? Was 3i Atlas an escape craft sent away before a cataclysm? A time capsule holding the essence of a lost world? The idea that this immense object is not an alien invader from another star system, but rather a direct descendant or a technological legacy of our own cosmic neighbourhood, returning after countless millennia, adds a profound, almost tragic depth to its narrative. It suggests a cycle of life, destruction, and return playing out on a cosmic scale, reminding us that even within our own solar system, histories far grander and more mysterious than our own have unfolded and perhaps are destined to repeat. Then the narrative takes an even more sensational turn, pulling in elements from the cutting edge of human technology. Allegations surfaced from an anonymous insider at CERN, the European Organisation for Nuclear Research, home to the Large Hadron Collider. This source reportedly claimed that during experimental attempts to open new dimensions or communicate with other realities, a literal portal was inadvertently opened. This wasn't a stable, controllable gateway, but a momentary rupture, a fleeting breach in the fabric of reality. And through this portal, or perhaps facilitated by it, an unexpected, astonishing event occurred. Telepathic contact was made with the occupants of 3i Atlas. Imagine the sheer audacity of such a claim. Humanity, through its most advanced scientific endeavours, accidentally breaches the cosmic veil, only to find itself in direct mental communication with an extraterrestrial intelligence. The insider further reported that a message was received, clear and chillingly direct. "We come in peace. We're here to gather the starseeds of this planet." Let's dissect this message. We come in peace. These are perhaps the most famous words in humanity's imagined first contact scenarios, often a prelude to something benevolent, or sometimes a cynical deception. Given the dismissive attitude sensed by other remote viewers, a healthy skepticism would be warranted. Is this a genuine declaration of benign intent, or a carefully crafted statement designed to disarm and pacify? And then, the second part. We're here to gather the starseeds of this planet. What exactly are starseeds? The phrase itself is deeply evocative. Could it refer to our genetic material, the very blueprint of life on Earth, seen as valuable or unique? Is it a spiritual concept, the essence of consciousness, the latent potential within living beings? Perhaps it refers to specific individuals, possessing unique genetic markers or spiritual predispositions, who are destined for a greater purpose beyond Earth. Or is it something far more prosaic, yet equally terrifying, a resource, a commodity, our very essence to be harvested? The message suggests a grand purpose, a a selective interest in Earth, perhaps seeing it as a cosmic garden from which to gather precious specimens. This isn't random exploration. It implies a deliberate, calculated agenda, one that has been planned for untold eons. The concept of starseeds elevates humanity from a mere collection of organisms to a repository of cosmic potential, a source of something truly extraordinary, even if that something is merely a resource for an alien civilization. The remote viewing reports don't stop at merely describing 3i Atlas and its potential inhabitants. They extend into the realm of prediction, outlining a timeline of anticipated events that could irrevocably alter our world. According to these psychic insights, in December 2025, a critical phase of 3i Atlas's mission will commence. The immense mothership is predicted to deploy smaller probes. Picture this. From the vast kilometers-long hull of 3i Atlas, a swarm of smaller craft, perhaps sleek and silent, perhaps radiating an unfamiliar energy, will emerge. What will these probes look like? How many will there be? Will they be robotic, or will they carry some of the millions of dormant beings now awakened? Their purpose, as foreseen by the remote viewers, is equally dramatic. They are expected to cause global power disruptions. This isn't just a minor blackout. We're talking about widespread synchronized failures of electrical grids, communication networks, and perhaps even advanced computing systems across the entire planet. Could these probes emit powerful electromagnetic pulses, EMPs, designed to neutralize our technology? Are they harvesting energy, drawing it directly from our infrastructure? Or is it a deliberate act, a way to isolate humanity, to reset our technological capabilities, perhaps to prevent interference with their grander objectives? The very idea of global power disruptions strikes at the heart of our modern civilization, plunging vast swathes of the world into darkness, silence, and chaos, revealing just how fragile our interconnected technological societies truly are when faced with an external, overwhelming force. And in the wake of these anticipated disruptions, the remote viewers suggest an even more profound consequence. The event will lead to splitting humanity's future into different paths. This isn't just a general societal change, it implies a literal divergence, a bifurcation of our collective destiny. What would cause such a split? Would it be a choice presented to humanity by the occupants of 3i Atlas? A decision to accept their gathering of starseeds, or to resist? Would certain segments of the population be selected, taken aboard, or integrated with the alien intelligence, leaving the rest to face a different, perhaps more terrestrial fate? Or could the probes themselves initiate a form of planetary terraforming or consciousness alteration, affecting different regions or groups in distinct ways? Imagine a world where some are offered a path to hyper-evolution, to join a galactic civilization, while others are left behind to rebuild in a post-technological, disrupted world. The very fabric of human identity, our collective aspirations, and our sense of shared destiny would be torn asunder, creating a schism so profound that future generations might look back on us as two entirely different species. This isn't just about survival, it's about the very definition of what it means to be human, and the terrifying prospect that our future might not be a single, unified journey, but a series of divergent roads, some leading to unimaginable advancement, others to an uncertain, perhaps even diminished, existence. The accumulated remote viewing data paints a portrait of 3i Atlas that is nothing short of breathtaking in its scope and implications. It is no longer just a comet, it is a monument, a mission, a living vessel carrying millions of dormant beings from an extinct Martian civilization, returning to Earth with a message of peace and an agenda to gather the starseeds of our planet. Its arrival, heralded by hexagonal lights and propelled by unknown forces, is poised to unleash probes that will plunge our world into darkness and force humanity onto multiple, divergent timelines. These are not merely observations, they are prophecies, portending a cosmic encounter that will reshape not just our understanding of the universe, but the very essence of human destiny. The question is no longer if something is coming, but what future we will choose when it arrives. Our understanding of the cosmos often begins with observation, with the patient gathering of data from distant points of light, but sometimes these observations pose questions so profound, so utterly baffling, that they shatter our conventional frameworks and force us to consider realities far stranger than fiction. And few cosmic events have raised more startling questions than the precise, deliberate encounter between the colossal object 3I Atlas and the enigmatic red planet. This brings us directly to the heart of the Mars connection. Imagine the vast cold emptiness of space, crisscrossed by countless celestial bodies on their preordained paths. Now, picture an object of immense scale, an interstellar visitor travelling from the unknown, making a beeline, not for our teeming Earth, but for its desolate, dusty neighbour. On October 3rd, 2025, 3I Atlas executed a manoeuvre that defies conventional explanation. It passed Mars closer than it passed any other planet in our solar system. This wasn't a casual flyby, a random astronomical happenstance in the cosmic shooting gallery. This was a precise, almost surgical approach, bringing it within an unnervingly close proximity to the Martian surface. The implications of such a trajectory are staggering, immediately raising the most critical question: why? Why was Mars, of all the worlds swirling around our Sun, its primary undeniable target? Consider the sheer improbability of such an event occurring by chance. The solar system is vast, a cosmic ocean of emptiness. For an object of 3I Atlas's size and trajectory to just happen to graze Mars so intimately, while seemingly ignoring Jupiter's colossal gravitational pull or Earth's inviting blue sphere, strains the very limits of credulity. It suggests a deliberate course, a destination programmed into its very being. Was it a planned rendezvous, a cosmic handshake with a world that holds secrets beyond our wildest imaginings? Or was it a purposeful reconnaissance, an inspection of a site of profound significance? This intimate encounter immediately elevates Mars from a mere planet of scientific interest to a central character in a cosmic drama, a world intrinsically linked to the immense vessel now making its presence known. This brings us to the groundbreaking, and some would say controversial work of Dr. John Brandenburg. A distinguished plasma physicist, Dr. Brandenburg has spent years analysing Martian data, and his conclusions are nothing short of revolutionary. He posits that Mars's once thriving atmosphere, which historical evidence suggests was far thicker and more life-sustaining than it is today, was not gradually eroded by solar winds or natural planetary decay. Instead, he proposes a far more dramatic, far more terrifying scenario. Mars's atmosphere and possibly its ancient biosphere were destroyed deliberately by thermonuclear explosions. Think about that for a moment. Not a natural catastrophe, but an act of war, or perhaps a cosmic cleansing, of unimaginable scale. Dr. Brandenburg's theory isn't based on mere speculation. It's rooted in unique and compelling evidence found directly within Martian soil and atmospheric composition. Scientists have detected unusual isotopic ratios in the Martian atmosphere, particularly high concentrations of xenon-129. On Earth, elevated levels of xenon-129 are a direct signature of nuclear fission, a telltale sign of atomic bombs detonating. Furthermore, Martian soil exhibits anomalous concentrations of other elements, such as thorium, uranium, and potassium, precisely the kind of radioactive isotopes that would be scattered and enriched in the aftermath of thermonuclear reactions. Imagine forensic scientists sifting through the debris of a battlefield, finding microscopic traces of explosives. What Dr. Brandenburg suggests is akin to finding the radioactive fallout from an ancient nuclear war etched into the very dust and rocks of another planet. This isn't just a faint echo of natural processes, it's a screaming siren, a signature of deliberate destructive power wielded on a planetary scale. Such evidence paints a chilling picture of a cataclysm that wasn't random, but orchestrated, leaving behind a scarred, desolate landscape as a grim testament to an ancient apocalyptic conflict. Who unleashed such power? And against whom? The questions multiply, each one more unsettling than the last, as we confront the possibility of not only alien life, but alien warfare on a scale that defies our comprehension. Building upon this horrifying foundation, Dr. Brandenburg takes his theory a step further, one that has profound implications for every single one of us. He proposes that if Mars once harboured a civilization, and if that civilization was annihilated in such a devastating manner, it's entirely plausible that some survivors or their genetic material escaped. And where would they go? To the nearest habitable planet, our own Earth. This bold hypothesis suggests that humanity itself, the entirety of our species, might be direct descendants of these ancient Martians. Consider the weight of that statement. We, the inhabitants of Earth, may not be indigenous to this planet in the way we've always believed. We could be cosmic refugees, the inheritors of a lost Martian legacy, unknowingly living on a world that offered sanctuary to our distant ancestors. If this is true, then the arrival of 3i Atlas takes on an entirely new, deeply personal significance. It transforms from a mere alien encounter into something far more intimate, far more ancestral. If we are indeed Martian descendants, then 3i Atlas is not just an interstellar craft, it is a homecoming. Is it returning survivors who fled the cataclysm? Is it a probe sent by a sister civilization, one that escaped to another star system and is now returning to check on the descendants left behind? Or is it something else entirely? A relic, a warning, a desperate plea from the past now resurfacing to confront its progeny? The concept of a homecoming stirs a primeval echo within us, hinting at a forgotten heritage, a cosmic lineage that binds us inextricably to the red dust of Mars and the mysterious object that now approaches our world. Given this context, the specific timing and trajectory of 3i Atlas's flyby of Mars becomes even more critical. On October 3, 2025, during this incredibly close approach, 3i Atlas would not merely have been visible from the Martian surface, it would have been an absolutely spectacular sight. Imagine standing on the desolate plains of Mars, looking up into the crimson sky. There, a colossal, kilometers-long object, not a star, not a moon, but an artificial leviathan, would have been undeniably clear. Furthermore, remote viewing data from the previous chapter suggested 3i Atlas has an active spray ahead of it, a signature of its advanced propulsion. During this close pass, this spray would have been at its most dynamic, its most visible, transforming the approaching vessel from a distant speck into a dazzling, unmistakable beacon. This vivid display would have made 3i Atlas a perfect, unambiguous way to signal the Red Planet. Why signal a seemingly dead world? Perhaps it was not signaling to Mars, but for Mars. Was it an announcement to any dormant technology, any buried installations, or perhaps to any lingering hidden pockets of life that might have survived the ancient devastation? Was it a message intended for the very landscape, a recognition of its ancestral home? The visual grandeur of such an event, an unmistakable beacon in the Martian sky, leaves little doubt that this was not merely a passive flyby, but an active, deliberate form of communication, a cosmic hailing across millennia. It was a declaration, a re-establishment of contact, not with living inhabitants perhaps, but with the very spirit and forgotten legacy of an ancient civilization. The sight would have been a breathtaking, awe-inspiring spectacle, a reminder that Mars holds secrets that pulse, with a history far deeper and more complex than we have ever dared to imagine. Naturally, with such a significant event occurring so close to Mars, humanity's technological eyes and ears were already there. Numerous spacecraft orbiting the Red Planet for various scientific missions were perfectly positioned to capture every detail of 3i Atlas's historic flyby. These sophisticated robotic sentinels, equipped with high-resolution cameras and advanced sensors, should have provided us with an unprecedented view of this mysterious object. Yet the information we received, or rather the information that was not released, tells its own unsettling story. The European Space Agency, ESA, which operates several missions around Mars, did release some images. But to the profound frustration of astronomers and the public alike, these images were conspicuously blurry. They offered only tantalizing, indistinct glimpses of something large and unusual, but nothing definitive, nothing that could satisfy the immense scientific curiosity surrounding 3i Atlas. Was this blurring a genuine technical limitation, an unavoidable consequence of distance or atmospheric interference? Or was it a deliberate obfuscation, a subtle way to show something without revealing everything? The blurry nature of the ESA images only served to fuel suspicion, sparking intense debate about the true clarity of the raw data. Even more troubling was the complete absence of images from NASA. the American Space Agency, with its powerful Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter and other advanced probes, should have been able to provide unparalleled views. However, a peculiar and highly suspicious government shutdown occurred precisely during the period when NASA's craft would have been capturing these critical observations. The timing was, to put it mildly, deeply convenient. A government shutdown effectively grinds many non-essential operations to a halt, including, critically, the processing and public release of scientific data. This left a gaping void in the official record, a silence that screamed louder than any fuzzy photograph. Was this shutdown a genuine political stalemate, an unfortunate coincidence that happened to coincide with the most important, astronomical event in generations? Or was it a carefully orchestrated maneuver, a convenient excuse to prevent the public, and perhaps even large portions of the scientific community, from seeing what NASA's instruments truly recorded? The withholding of this information, cloaked under the convenient shroud of bureaucratic gridlock, served only to deepen the enigma and amplify the whispers of a deliberate cover-up. It turned a moment of potential scientific triumph into a frustrating exercise in suspicion, leaving us to wonder what monumental secrets were deemed too sensitive, too world-altering, for humanity to witness. Yet, despite the blurry official images and the ominous silence from government agencies, the pursuit of truth often finds its champions in unexpected places. Enter the world of dedicated amateur astronomers and citizen scientists. These tenacious individuals, driven by an insatiable curiosity and a refusal to accept incomplete narratives, scoured publicly available data. They meticulously downloaded and processed raw images from various rover cameras, images often overlooked or deemed insignificant by official channels, and what they uncovered was nothing short of a revelation. Through careful digital enhancement and painstaking analysis, these amateur sleuths identified, within the background of otherwise mundane Martian landscape shots, a faint, elongated object in the Martian sky during 3I Atlas's flyby. It wasn't a perfect, crystal-clear photograph of the mothership, but it was undeniable. The object was distinct from any known stars or atmospheric phenomena. Its elongated shape suggested something far larger and more complex than a natural satellite or a distant asteroid. This was the visual smoking gun, the tangible proof that something extraordinary was indeed in the Martian heavens at precisely the predicted time. It was a testament to the power of open-source data and the unyielding spirit of independent investigation, proving that even with official channels choked, the truth can still find a way to glimmer through the digital dust. This discovery, born from the patient work of enthusiasts, provided a crucial, independent corroboration of the remote viewer's claims and the highly suspicious nature of the official photographic record. It offered a tantalizing glimpse of the colossal vessel, a silent witness now documented not by advanced telescopes, but by the determined ingenuity of those outside the halls of power. The collective behavior of multiple space agencies surrounding this event is, arguably, as significant as the event itself. The blurry images from ESA, followed by the complete and utter blackout of data from NASA under the guise of a government shutdown, presented a deeply troubling pattern. This wasn't a single, isolated incident of poor communication or technical difficulty. This was a coordinated silence, a conspicuous lack of detailed, high-quality observations from precisely the institutions expected to provide them. This synchronized withholding of information, this collective turning away from clarity, has understandably fueled widespread theories of a deliberate cover-up. Why would they hide such a monumental discovery? The reasons are myriad and unsettling. Perhaps they fear global panic, a societal collapse in the face of incontrovertible evidence of advanced alien life. Perhaps they wish to control the narrative, to slowly acclimatize humanity to the truth on their own terms, preventing chaos and maintaining stability. Or, a far more cynical possibility, perhaps certain powerful factions within these agencies, or the governments they serve, are actively working to exploit this alien technology, or even establish contact without the knowledge or interference of the global populace. The very act of concealing such vital information erodes public trust in scientific institutions, transforming them from beacons of truth into opaque arbitrations of reality, leaving us to wonder what other cosmic revelations are being meticulously shielded from our view. The silence itself becomes an undeniable message, a loud absence of information that speaks volumes about what they don't want us to know. If we accept the premise, now supported by multiple lines of evidence, remote viewing, Dr. Brandenburg's theory, and amateur photographic corroboration, that 3i Atlas is indeed a probe, or perhaps even a flagship from an ancient Martian civilization, then its mission expands far beyond a simple flyby. Its close approach to Mars transforms into a purposeful reconnaissance, a meticulous re-evaluation of its ancestral home. The possibilities of its mission are vast and deeply intriguing. First, it might be checking for signs of life, not necessarily advanced, intelligent life, but any remnant of the biosphere that once thrived on Mars. Could there be microbial life clinging to existence deep beneath the surface, sustained by geothermal vents? Or perhaps, could there be larger dormant organisms, cryogenically preserved or adapted to the harsh new environment, waiting for a signal to reawaken? The mothership, with its advanced sensors, could be scanning for biosignatures, for any whisper of the life that once populated its world. Second, it could be searching for old landmarks. Imagine a civilization so advanced that it left behind not just ruins, but structures designed to withstand eons. Are there buried cities, colossal monuments, or vast underground complexes waiting to be rediscovered? Is 3i Atlas, armed with the precise coordinates and architectural schematics of its ancient past, methodically scanning the Martian surface for these telltale signs, seeking to identify the remnants of its lost civilization? Perhaps it is looking for specific energy signatures or peculiar geological formations that reveal the presence of past technological endeavours. The very landscape of Mars, which we perceive as barren, might be a vast historical archive for this returning vessel. Third, and perhaps most dramatically, 3i Atlas might be there to reactivate dormant technology. Envision a scenario where the ancient Martians, anticipating their doom or planning a return, left behind sophisticated machines, power sources, or communication arrays, now lying dormant beneath the red dust. Could these be terraforming machines, designed to restore Mars's atmosphere and habitability? Could they be powerful beacons, meant to signal the return of the mothership, or perhaps even defensive systems, left behind to guard against future threats? The mothership, with its advanced capabilities, could be sending out specific energy pulses, attempting to awaken these sleeping giants, to re-energize the technological ghosts of a forgotten empire. This would fundamentally transform Mars from a dead world into a planet awaiting reanimation, a landscape dotted with dormant machines poised to spring back to life. And the mission doesn't stop at Mars. The remote viewing data from the previous chapter, hinting at a wider presence, suggests that 3i Atlas might extend its reconnaissance to other celestial bodies, notably Jupiter's enigmatic moon, Europa. Why Europa? This icy moon is one of the most promising candidates in our solar system for harbouring extraterrestrial life, thanks to its vast subsurface ocean, warmed by tidal forces from Jupiter. If the ancient Martian civilization had a presence, or an interest, beyond Mars, Europa, with its potential for life, would be a logical next step. Could 3i Atlas be checking for signs of Martian settlements there, or reactivating dormant outposts established by its ancestors who explored the outer reaches of their home system? This expanded mission transforms 3i Atlas into a systemic explorer, not just focused on its immediate home, but on a wider network of historical connections and strategic interests throughout the entire solar system. Its journey is not merely a path through space, but a methodical investigation, a re-establishment of contact with a past that spans across multiple worlds, carrying with it the potential to awaken sleeping secrets not just on Mars, but across the vast, unexplored depths of our cosmic backyard. The very existence of 3i Atlas challenges us to reconsider the history of our solar system, to embrace the possibility that our red neighbour holds the key to our origins, and that an ancient, powerful intelligence is now returning to reclaim its heritage. In the shadowy corridors of power, where information is currency and secrets are weapons, events sometimes unfold with a precision that defies coincidence. When the celestial dance of 3i Atlas intersected with the terrestrial machinations of human governance, a pattern emerged that sent shivers down the spines of those who question official narratives. This intricate web of suspicious timings and unexplained omissions leads us directly into a landscape ripe for speculation, where every unanswered question fuels a larger, more unsettling truth. The deep state scenario. Consider the calendar, October the 1st, 2025. This was the precise date the United States government initiated a full-scale shutdown. For many, it was merely another frustrating display of political gridlock, a familiar dance of partisan brinkmanship. But for those watching the skies, the timing was nothing short of extraordinary. This shutdown had immediate and devastating consequences for America's space agency, NASA. Thousands of dedicated NASA employees, the very individuals responsible for operating our sophisticated space telescopes, analysing cosmic data, and releasing vital information to the public, were suddenly furloughed. They were sent home, their work suspended indefinitely, their access to critical instruments severed. And why does this matter so profoundly? Because just 2 days later, on October 3rd, 2025, the Rhesus Atlas, the colossal object we've been discussing, made its closest, most significant flyby of Mars. This was the moment of peak observation, the crucial window when NASA's fleet of orbiters, landers, and powerful Earth-based telescopes should have been meticulously capturing every detail of this unprecedented encounter. Instead, the world's leading space agency was effectively crippled, its eyes and ears on the cosmos deliberately, inexplicably blinded. Was this a mere coincidence, an unfortunate alignment of political dysfunction and cosmic happenstance? Or was it something far more deliberate, a carefully orchestrated move to ensure that critical data, potentially world-altering information about 3I Atlas, was not collected, not processed, and most importantly, not released to the public? The convenient timing of the shutdown, right on the cusp of this momentous astronomical event, begs the chilling question: was this engineered silence? The suspicions surrounding NASA's ability to observe 3I Atlas was so profound that it took direct political intervention to even ensure that ground-based telescopes were pointed in the right direction. Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna, a figure known for her independent stance and willingness to challenge established norms, had to personally step in. She was forced to apply significant pressure, to navigate bureaucratic obstacles, and to demand that scientific protocols be followed, simply to ensure that Earth's own instruments were tracking this unprecedented object. Think about the implications of this. It wasn't a matter of scientific priority, it was a battle against inertia, or worse, against deliberate inaction. The fact that a sitting member of Congress had to exert such effort just to get telescopes to look at arguably the most important astronomical event in decades speaks volumes. It suggests a powerful, unseen hand at play, deliberately diverting resources or actively preventing observation unless forced into action. This extraordinary intervention by Congresswoman Luna paints a stark picture of resistance within the very institutions designed to seek and disseminate cosmic truth, adding another layer of concrete evidence to the theory of controlled information. Adding further fuel to the fire of suspicion is a quietly enacted yet profoundly significant administrative change that occurred months before the October 2025 shutdown. In a move that largely escaped public scrutiny, NASA underwent a fundamental redesignation. It was quietly, almost imperceptibly, reclassified as a national intelligence agency. Now, on the surface, this might sound innocuous, a mere administrative reshuffling, but the implications are immense and far-reaching. When an agency is designated as a national intelligence asset, it gains the ability to classify any and all information it gathers under the guise of national security. This means that data, images and analyses pertaining to 3I Atlas, indeed anything discovered in space, could now be legally withheld from the public, even from Congress itself, if deemed a threat to national security. No longer would transparency be a core principle. Opacity would become a mandated prerogative. This redesignation provides a powerful, legally sanctioned mechanism for a complete and total information lockdown. It means that even if NASA's telescopes did capture crystal-clear images of 3I Atlas, even if they did detect undeniable proof of alien intelligence or advanced technology, that information could be buried indefinitely, never seeing the light of day. This administrative shift, enacted well in advance of 3I Atlas's close approach, looks less like a bureaucratic adjustment and more like a carefully laid contingency, a preemptive measure to control the narrative of cosmic contact long before it even occurred. It transformed NASA from a public-facing scientific institution into a potential gatekeeper of cosmic secrets, operating under the veil of intelligence protocol. The day before the government shutdown, another deeply unusual and highly secretive event unfolded that raised alarm bells for those tracking the confluence of cosmic and geopolitical events. Approximately 800 US military generals and admirals, a staggering number representing a significant portion of the nation's highest-ranking military leadership, convened at Quantico, Virginia, for what was ominously described as a not routine briefing. This wasn't an annual conference, nor a standard strategic review. The sheer scale of attendees, combined with the emphatic statement that this was an unusual gathering, immediately suggested an issue of unparalleled national importance, requiring the attention of the entire military command structure. What could possibly warrant such a massing of top brass? Was it a looming terrestrial conflict? A burgeoning cyber warfare threat? Or was it something far more existential, something that demanded a coordinated, unified response from every branch of the armed forces? The timing, less than 24 hours before the NASA shutdown, and just days before 3i Atlas's Mars flyby, is almost impossible to dismiss as mere chance. It hints at an intelligence briefing about an imminent, extraordinary threat or opportunity, one so profound that it required the absolute highest level of military preparedness and awareness. This gathering at Quantico paints a chilling picture of an internal elite already privy to classified information about 3i Atlas, preparing for its implications, perhaps even planning for various scenarios, ranging from defense to engagement, long before the public had any inkling of the object's true nature. It suggests a nation's military apparatus quietly bracing itself for an encounter of unknown magnitude far from the public eye. In a world increasingly dominated by data and risk assessment, one industry stands as a silent yet powerful barometer of global anxiety: the insurance sector. These titans of risk management meticulously model every conceivable global threat, from climate change and natural disasters to pandemics and geopolitical instability. They quantify the probabilities, assess the financial fallout, and adjust their premiums accordingly. Yet, in the face of what could be the most significant cosmic event in human history, the potential arrival of a massive alien craft, an object capable of causing global power disruptions and splitting humanity's future, the insurance industry has been completely, utterly silent. There has been no panicked adjustment of space-related policies, no public statements about new cosmic risk assessments, no warnings issued to their vast networks of clients about potential asteroid impacts or alien incursions. This deafening silence is, in itself, a chilling signal. It suggests that they haven't simply overlooked 3i Atlas. It's far more likely that they have been explicitly advised to keep quiet. Advised by whom? By the very authorities, perhaps, who engineered the NASA shutdown and convened the Quantico briefing. The insurance industry's silence implies a directive, a governmental request, or even a mandate to avoid any public discussion that could incite panic or reveal the true gravity of the situation. It's a powerful indication that those who govern the world's financial risk have been brought into the fold, quietly acknowledging a threat or an opportunity that the rest of humanity is deliberately being shielded from. Their inaction speaks volumes, hinting at an unprecedented level of control and coordinated information management. These disparate yet interconnected events, the perfectly timed government shutdown, the congressional intervention, the redesignation of NASA as an intelligence agency, the mass military briefing, and the uncanny silence from the insurance industry, all converge to suggest what is often called the deep state scenario. This theory proposes that 3i Atlas is not merely a natural phenomenon, or even just an unexpected alien encounter, but rather a manufactured crisis, or a false flag event. Under this scenario, powerful, unelected elements within government and intelligence agencies are deliberately manipulating the public's perception of 3i Atlas. The goal? To create a pretext, a grand cosmic emergency that would justify the implementation of extraordinary executive powers. This could include things like widespread, indefinite lockdowns, not for a virus, but for a cosmic threat. It could involve the suspension of civil liberties, increased surveillance, and a massive consolidation of power under the guise of protecting humanity from an external alien danger. Imagine a world where all dissent is quashed, all freedoms curtailed, all resources directed towards a perceived common enemy from the stars. The very existence of an alien threat, whether real or fabricated, provides the ultimate justification for an authoritarian power grab, uniting a fragmented populace against a shared, awe-inspiring enemy, and paving the way for a new world order where control is absolute and unchallenged. Elements of this deep state scenario bear a striking resemblance to facets of Project Bluebeam. For those unfamiliar, Project Bluebeam is a long-standing conspiracy theory, dating back decades, which posits that a global elite plans to stage a technologically advanced alien invasion or a divine intervention event using holographic projections, directed energy weapons, and advanced psychological operations. The ultimate goal, according to the theory, is to usher in a one-world government and a new global religion. While 3i Atlas is a real, observed astronomical object, the management of its arrival, the orchestration of information, and the deliberate creation of fear or anticipation surrounding it could be utilizing Bluebeam tactics. Imagine advanced stealth probes from 3i Atlas, or even Earth-based covert technology, creating localized alien sightings, generating specific messages like "we come in peace" or warnings of dire consequences, or even inducing mass telepathic events. Could the global power disruptions predicted by remote viewers be intentionally caused, not by 3i Atlas directly, but by terrestrial technologies designed to simulate an alien attack, pushing humanity to the brink and then offering a predetermined solution? The blurring of official images, the coordinated silence, and the preemptive classification of data all fit within a framework of controlling the narrative, shaping public perception, and preparing the populace for a grand, staged cosmic reveal that serves a terrestrial agenda of power consolidation. The line between what is truly alien and what is carefully constructed illusion becomes frighteningly thin. Of course, critics and skeptics will argue vehemently against such theories. They would dismiss the pattern of events as nothing more than government incompetence, a confluence of bad timing, and the natural bureaucratic inertia that often plagues large organizations. They would suggest that the shutdown was simply politics as usual, the military briefing was on an unrelated matter, and the insurance industry's silence is due to the inherent difficulty of modelling truly unprecedented risks. And indeed, on the surface, each event could be explained away individually. However, when viewed collectively, the sheer number of coincidences becomes statistically improbable. The tight clustering of these events, an executive order redesignating NASA, a mass military briefing, a government shutdown that conveniently paralyzes NASA's ability to observe, followed by significant delays in data release, begins to look less like random chance and more like a carefully orchestrated sequence. It suggests a coordinated effort, a deliberate campaign to control, manage, and perhaps even manipulate the information flow surrounding 3i Atlas. The pattern is too consistent, the timing too precise, to be dismissed as mere happenstance. It's like seeing all the pieces of a complex puzzle falling into place, revealing a coherent picture that the official narrative refuses to acknowledge. The very consistency of this bad timing becomes evidence in itself, pointing towards a calculated strategy. Adding a final intriguing layer to this deep state scenario is the unusual public silence of one of the most vocal, influential, and space-obsessed figures of our time, Elon Musk. Known for his unfiltered pronouncements, his frequent use of social media to comment on everything from rockets to AI to alien life, Musk's typical response to major cosmic events is an immediate, often provocative public engagement. Yet, regarding 3i Atlas, a colossal object that could fundamentally alter humanity's future in space, a potential mothership from an ancient Martian civilization, topics perfectly aligned with his passions and business ventures, he has remained conspicuously quiet. This isn't just a casual oversight. This is a deliberate, uncharacteristic restraint from a man who normally cannot resist weighing in on such monumental issues. His silence, in this context, is deafening. Does he genuinely know nothing? Or, a far more compelling possibility, has Elon Musk, a figure with deep connections to both government and advanced space technology, been privy to classified information? Has he been advised, or even mandated, to keep silent? His lack of commentary, his deliberate withdrawal from the public conversation surrounding 3i Atlas suggests that he might know significantly more than he's saying, adding a powerful, almost personal endorsement to the idea that a deeper, more profound narrative is playing out behind the scenes, far from the public eye. His silence implies not ignorance, but a guarded awareness, a strategic decision to withhold information that could confirm the extraordinary nature of the 3I Atlas event. The deep state, it seems, reaches even into the seemingly independent realms of tech titans, ensuring that the official narrative, or lack thereof, remains meticulously controlled. Our conventional understanding of space exploration paints a picture of government agencies like NASA and ESA meticulously planning missions, launching rockets, and sharing their discoveries with the world. But what if this public-facing narrative is merely a thin veil, concealing a far more advanced, far more clandestine reality? What if humanity's true capabilities in space extend far beyond what we are officially told? This chapter delves into the audacious, often controversial theories of the secret space programs. One of the most widely discussed and intriguing of these theories is known as Solar Warden. According to this hypothesis, the United States, in conjunction with its closest allies, has been operating a highly advanced and entirely secret space fleet since the 1980s. Imagine, if you can, a covert armada of warships and exploration vessels, not flying in our atmosphere, but navigating the vast emptiness of interstellar space, unseen and unheard by the vast majority of humanity. Proponents of Solar Warden suggest that this program was built upon, and perhaps even powered by, reverse-engineered alien technology. Picture cutting-edge propulsion systems, energy sources, and defensive capabilities derived directly from crashed UFOs or through clandestine cooperation with extraterrestrial entities. This wasn't merely about developing better rockets, it was about achieving true space supremacy, reaching far beyond the Moon and Mars. The alleged capabilities of this fleet are staggering, including the ability for deep space travel, allowing these secret vessels to traverse immense distances within our solar system, and potentially even venture to nearby star systems. This would mean that humanity has possessed the means to explore and potentially even colonize other worlds for decades, while the public remains fixated on probes and rovers. The existence of such a program would fundamentally rewrite our understanding of human technological achievement and our place in the cosmos. It implies a parallel technological evolution, operating completely outside the public domain, a secret history of space travel that has been unfolding right under our noses, meticulously guarded from public scrutiny. The vessels of Solar Warden wouldn't look like our bulky rockets. They would be sleek, silent, and incredibly fast, utilizing propulsion systems that defy our known physics, perhaps capable of instantaneous travel or manipulating space-time itself. It's a vision that transforms humanity from a species confined to one planet to a burgeoning interstellar power, albeit one shrouded in absolute secrecy. Perhaps the most compelling piece of evidence often cited for the Solar Warden program comes from a man named Gary McKinnon. In the early 2000s, McKinnon, a British hacker, achieved notoriety for allegedly perpetrating the biggest military computer hack of all time. He spent years meticulously breaching the computer networks of NASA and the US military, searching for evidence of UFO cover-ups. What he claimed to have found was truly astonishing. Within the systems of the US Navy, McKinnon reported discovering spreadsheets that listed non-terrestrial officers. Think about that phrase. Officers whose duty stations were not on Earth. This wasn't just vague jargon, it implied a command structure operating beyond our planet. Furthermore, he claimed to have uncovered lists of ship names that were utterly unknown to public naval registries, suggesting a fleet operating completely outside official recognition. McKinnon's descriptions included details about material transfers between ships within this unknown fleet, hinting at a logistical network operating in space. He even described finding a folder labelled Filtered within a NASA image repository, implying that images of UFOs or other anomalies were being systematically removed or altered before public release. While McKinnon was eventually caught and faced lengthy legal battles, his claims, particularly the specific details of non-terrestrial officers and unknown ship manifests, have resonated deeply within the ufology community, offering what many consider to be insider proof of a secret human presence in space, a hidden military operating far beyond Earth's atmosphere. His detailed accounts provide tantalizing glimpses into a parallel reality where humanity has long since ventured into the cosmos, not as a nascent spacefaring species, but as a seasoned participant in the interstellar theatre. The implications of his discovery suggest an elaborate, multi-layered deception, a carefully constructed illusion of technological infancy, while a powerful, technologically advanced fleet silently patrols the vast reaches of our solar system. Further substantiating these claims is the testimony of individuals like Corey Goode. Goode is one of the most prominent and controversial figures associated with the secret space program narrative, claiming to have not just observed, but actively served for 20 years in such a program. His accounts are incredibly detailed, describing a complex hierarchy of secret space programs, including the Solar Warden fleet. He asserts that he interacted directly with numerous different alien species across the solar system, participating in diplomatic exchanges, technological sharing agreements, and even conflicts. Goode's narratives paint a picture of an already bustling solar system, teeming with various extraterrestrial civilizations, some benevolent, some neutral, and some overtly hostile. He describes humanity, or at least a highly select portion of it, as an active participant in this broader cosmic community, far from the naive, isolated species we are generally led to believe. While highly speculative and often met with skepticism, Goode's consistent and intricate storytelling, combined with other alleged whistleblowers, contributes to a growing body of alternative narratives that challenge the official story of humanity's limited presence in space. He describes not just ships, but entire habitats, research stations, and even military outposts established by humans on other planets and moons, operating completely autonomously from terrestrial governments, forging alliances and pursuing agendas known only to a select few. Now, let's bring these theories back to 3i Atlas. If the Solar Warden program is indeed real, and if humanity possesses such advanced deep space capabilities, then a radical alternative explanation for 3i Atlas's origin emerges. This theory suggests that 3i Atlas could be a Solar Warden craft itself. Imagine a vessel launched decades ago, perhaps on a deep space exploratory mission to the outer reaches of our solar system, or even beyond. It could have been designed to gather intelligence, to scout potential resources, or to make first contact with distant civilizations. And now, after years or even decades of its mission, it is finally returning. The implications of this possibility are profound. Perhaps it is returning with invaluable findings, discoveries that would fundamentally alter our understanding of the universe. Or perhaps it is returning damaged, having encountered unforeseen perils or engaged in unknown conflicts in the cosmic void. Its return, then, would not be an alien invasion, but a carefully orchestrated, controlled disclosure event. The world's governments, having kept its existence secret for so long, might be using 3i Atlas's return as a staged revelation, slowly acclimatizing humanity to the reality of advanced space travel and alien contact, without triggering mass panic or societal collapse. This would explain the coordinated silence, the managed data, and the deliberate blurring of lines between natural phenomena and artificial constructs. It would be a grand unveiling, carefully choreographed by those who have been operating in the shadows for decades, revealing a truth on their own terms at a time of their choosing, to prepare us for an inevitable, yet carefully managed integration into a broader cosmic community that has long since been known to a select few. Supporting this idea are the highly unusual characteristics attributed to 3i Atlas itself. Its precise trajectory, a path that defies the expectations of a naturally occurring comet, could be a deliberate navigation, a pre-programmed course rather than a random celestial dance. Furthermore, the alleged metallic emissions from 3i Atlas, specifically reports of pure nickel, no iron, are incredibly significant. Pure nickel is a rare and highly prized material in advanced engineering, known for its strength, corrosion resistance, and suitability for extreme environments. The absence of iron, a common component in both natural celestial bodies and most human-made spacecraft, is particularly telling. It strongly suggests the presence of advanced propulsion systems and construction materials, far beyond what publicly known human technology can produce. These aren't the signatures of a dirty snowball. They are the hallmarks of sophisticated engineering, of a vessel constructed with unparalleled metallurgical expertise, exactly the kind of technology that a highly advanced secret space program, perhaps leveraging alien knowledge, would be capable of deploying. These unique characteristics transform 3i Atlas from an enigma into a powerful piece of circumstantial evidence for a hidden human or human-aligned technological masterpiece returning from the deep. Beyond Solar Warden, another theory, often dubbed the Red Sky program, suggests an even deeper, more entrenched history of humanity's clandestine engagement with alien technology. This theory posits that since at least the 1950s, the US government, and potentially other world powers, has been meticulously reverse engineering alien technology. Think about the Roswell incident, or other alleged UFO crashes throughout history. According to this theory, these weren't just isolated events. They were opportunities, providing humanity with invaluable blueprints for propulsion, energy and material science, salvaged from extraterrestrial craft. Under Red Sky, all public space missions, the Mercury, Gemini, Apollo programs, the Space Shuttle, the International Space Station, and even our current Mars rovers are merely a sophisticated cover. They are a carefully constructed facade designed to maintain the illusion of limited human spaceflight capabilities, while the real exploration, the truly transformative technological advancements, were occurring in secret. These public programs serve as a distraction, a narrative to keep the public engaged and compliant, while the true work of exploring the cosmos, building advanced fleets, and interacting with extraterrestrial civilizations unfolded in the shadows. The theory suggests that the Red Sky program has achieved capabilities far exceeding anything NASA publicly demonstrates, capable of interstellar travel and establishing human colonies on distant worlds, all while the public believes we are still struggling to send humans to Mars, is a grand cosmic charade, a deliberate misdirection on a planetary scale. Further adding to the intrigue are alleged pieces of evidence that seem to confirm humanity's clandestine forays into space, and the presence of advanced alien craft long before official disclosure. One prominent example is the alleged Apollo 20 footage. This highly controversial material, purportedly leaked from a secret Apollo mission, claimed to show a crashed cigar-shaped craft on the far side of the moon. The craft in the footage was described as being kilometers long, immense in scale, and eerily similar in its elongated artificial appearance to some of the descriptions of 3I Atlas. The footage allegedly showed astronauts exploring this ancient derelict, even recovering what appeared to be alien bodies. While the authenticity of Apollo 20 footage is hotly debated, with many dismissing it as an elaborate hoax, its existence within the broader narrative of secret space programs serves a powerful purpose. It feeds into the idea that not only have humans been exploring space in secret, but that they have already encountered and studied highly advanced alien artifacts, keeping these monumental discoveries hidden from the world. If the Apollo 20 footage were true, it would prove that humanity has known about and interacted with highly advanced alien technology for decades, and that our understanding of both the moon's history and our own spacefaring capabilities is profoundly incomplete. The cigar-shaped craft resonates deeply with certain types of UFO sightings, further solidifying the image of highly advanced non-terrestrial technology being present in our immediate cosmic neighbourhood, and potentially even visited by human explorers. The tapestry of secret space programs also weaves in a more complex, often darker, cosmic geopolitics. Some theories suggest that humanity's secret space initiatives are not operating in a vacuum, but are caught in the middle of ongoing conflicts between different alien factions. Specifically, some proponents of secret space programs describe a long-standing struggle between what they term reptilian extraterrestrials and Nordic groups. The reptilians are often portrayed as a powerful, ancient and often malevolent species, seeking to control planetary resources and manipulate human civilization. The Nordics, on the other hand, are typically depicted as more benevolent human-like beings, often attempting to assist humanity in its spiritual and technological evolution. In this scenario, human secret space programs, having reverse-engineered technology and ventured into the solar system, have inadvertently become entangled in this larger interstellar conflict. They are forced to navigate alliances, engage in skirmishes, and make difficult choices in a cosmic landscape far more dangerous and complex than anything portrayed in popular science fiction. This perspective transforms the arrival of 3I Atlas from a singular event into a crucial move on a much larger ongoing cosmic chessboard. Is 3I Atlas a vessel allied with one of these factions? Is it a piece in a larger game, sent to influence the outcome of an interstellar struggle that directly impacts Earth's destiny. The idea that human elites have been secretly dealing with, and even fighting alongside or against, these various alien species for decades paints a chilling picture of our true place in the universe, far from the naive observers we publicly claim to be. It suggests a covert war, a silent struggle for influence and control that has been unfolding across our solar system for generations, with humanity itself as a vital, if often unwitting, pawn. Finally, another intriguing theory suggests a different role for 3i Atlas altogether, that it might be a galactic federation way station. This concept posits the existence of a vast interstellar organisation comprising numerous alien civilizations, tasked with maintaining peace, overseeing planetary development, and facilitating interspecies relations across the galaxy. In this view, 3i Atlas could be a mobile outpost, a diplomatic hub, or a temporary command centre for this federation, strategically positioned in our solar system for a specific purpose. Crucially, this theory suggests that human secret space programs have already made contact with this galactic federation. They are not merely observers, but active, albeit covert, participants in this broader cosmic community. The secrecy surrounding 3i Atlas, then, would not be about hiding an alien threat, but about preventing public panic regarding humanity's deep involvement in a broader cosmic community. Imagine the societal upheaval if the public learned that their governments have been secretly interacting with alien federations for decades, trading technology, sharing intelligence, and potentially even entering into treaties. Such a revelation could shatter religious beliefs, economic systems, and national sovereignties overnight. Therefore, the cover-up isn't about denying alien life, but about managing the disclosure of humanity's pre-existing integration into a universe far more populated and complex than we currently perceive. 3i Atlas, in this light, is not an unknown entity but a known quantity, a part of a larger, carefully managed cosmic narrative designed to slowly, cautiously, bring humanity into its rightful place within the Galactic Federation, at a pace deemed safe for its fragile psychological and social structures. The layers of deception would not be malevolent, but rather a protective measure, a slow unveiling of truths too grand for humanity to process all at once. We've journeyed through the astounding possibilities of humanity's hidden cosmic reach, from covert fleets patrolling our solar system to secret treaties with galactic federations. We've considered that 3i Atlas might be a returning mission, a staged disclosure, or even a cosmic way station, its very nature woven into the fabric of a much larger secret history. The sheer scale of these revelations about what's happening out there is enough to challenge everything we thought we knew, forcing us to redefine our place in a universe far more complex and populated than official narratives suggest. But what if this isn't just about the distant stars, or the alien species that traverse them? What if 3i Atlas, in its enigmatic approach and the global reaction to its undeniable presence, is serving a far more immediate, a far more terrestrial purpose? What if its very existence, its close proximity, and the overwhelming evidence surrounding it are forcing us to confront the profound, deeply buried truths that governments, intelligence agencies, and powerful elites have meticulously hidden from us for not just years, but for decades? The arrival of 3i Atlas might not only be an invitation to the cosmos, but an unavoidable reckoning with our own shadowed past, a cosmic mirror held up to expose the most carefully guarded terrestrial deceptions, laying bare the secrets right here on Earth. We have explored the potential alien origins of 3i Atlas and the unsettling possibility that it is a returning vessel from a secret human space program, or even a staged event by powerful elites. Yet, regardless of its true nature, one thing remains constant: the approaching rendezvous. As we peer into the near future through the often blurry lens of foresight, a singular point in time emerges with startling clarity, a moment that seems destined to define our species. This convergence of seemingly disparate predictions, from the esoteric to the scientific, leads us to a profound exploration of Gersum. Prophetic visions and timelines. Across a surprisingly broad spectrum of sources, a specific window of time repeatedly surfaces with an almost insistent regularity. December 2025. This isn't a vague, generalized prediction of future change. It is a pinpointed date, appearing with uncanny consistency in the reports of highly structured remote viewing sessions, in the ethereal pronouncements of channeled messages from alleged higher intelligences, and even in the more calculated, albeit speculative, scientific predictions surrounding 3I Atlas's orbital mechanics. Why this particular month? Why this precise year? The consensus view from these diverse wellsprings of foresight is that December 2025 will serve as a definitive convergence point, or, even more dramatically, a timeline fork for humanity's future. Imagine a journey along a single road. Suddenly that road splits into 2, 3, or even more distinct paths, each leading to an entirely different destination. December 2025, according to these prophecies, is that critical junction for all of humankind. It's not just a time of change, it's a moment of irreversible divergence, where choices made, actions taken, or even energetic shifts experienced by our planet will irrevocably determine which future path humanity collectively embarks upon. This convergence point implies that the events surrounding 3I Atlas are not merely isolated incidents, but rather triggers, catalysts, that will force a global reckoning, pushing humanity to a crossroads from which there will be no turning back. It is a moment pregnant with destiny, a cosmic appointment that will forever alter the trajectory of our civilization, forcing us to collectively decide our path forward, for better or for worse. The sheer repetition of this specific month across so many varied sources lends an eerie credibility to its significance, suggesting that something truly profound, truly defining, is set to unfold in the closing weeks of 2025. Central to this looming convergence is the object itself, 3I Atlas. Having passed behind the sun's blinding glare, rendering it largely invisible and unobservable for a crucial period, 3I Atlas is predicted to re-emerge from its solar occultation precisely in December. This re-emergence is not just an astronomical curiosity, it's anticipated to be a momentous event, marking the object's return to full visibility from Earth. And crucially, it is at this point of re-emergence that 3I Atlas is expected to become potentially activating. What does activating mean in this context? It implies a transition from a passive, travelling state to an active, purposeful phase of its mission. If remote viewers are correct, and 3I Atlas is indeed a mothership carrying dormant beings or a secret human craft, its activation could mean a number of things. It might power up its true propulsion systems, making its presence dramatically obvious. It might begin broadcasting powerful signals, attempting to communicate with Earth or dormant systems on other planets. Or, most dramatically, it could prepare for its predicted deployment of smaller probes. The re-emergence from behind the sun is thus seen not as the end of an observational blackout, but the beginning of the true dynamic phase of 3I Atlas's mission, where its intentions, whatever they may be, will finally manifest in a clear and undeniable manner. It marks the end of speculation and the beginning of direct interaction, transforming the distant enigma into an active participant in our immediate reality. The sun, in this narrative, acts as a cosmic curtain, revealing a player on the galactic stage who has been waiting for the perfect moment to step into the spotlight and initiate its grand design. The remote viewing sessions, which have consistently provided such astonishingly detailed insights into 3I Atlas, continue their narrative into this crucial December period. Their predictions are stark and foreboding. 3I Atlas will release smaller probes that are specifically designed to cause global electromagnetic disruptions and plasma storms. Imagine a fleet of smaller craft, perhaps sleek and silent, perhaps radiating an unfamiliar energy, detaching from the colossal mothership. These probes are not merely observational tools, their very purpose is to instigate a planetary-wide event. Global electromagnetic disruptions would mean widespread systemic failures of our electrical grids, communication networks, and advanced electronic systems. Picture cities plunged into darkness, the internet ceasing to function, satellites rendered inoperable, and modern transportation systems grinding to a halt. Our interconnected, technologically dependent civilization would be thrown into chaos, its very infrastructure dismantled. Concurrently, the mention of plasma storms evokes images of violent atmospheric phenomena, perhaps massive aurora-like displays, electrical discharges, or even unprecedented weather events, all driven by the energetic emanations from 3I Atlas or its probes. These aren't localized incidents, they are planetary-scale events, designed to affect every corner of the globe simultaneously. The impact would be devastating, a complete reset of our technological infrastructure, forcing humanity to confront a world without the conveniences and systems it has come to rely upon. This collective shockwave would be so profound as to be irreversible, altering not just our daily lives but the fundamental trajectory of our technological evolution, compelling a return to more basic forms of existence, or a rapid, unprecedented adaptation to a completely new reality. The profound significance of these predicted disruptions lies in their interpretation, which itself dictates humanity's future path. These events, whether electromagnetic disruptions or plasma storms, could be perceived in one of two fundamentally opposing ways, each leading to radically different outcomes for our species. On one hand, they could be seen as an outright attack. Imagine the fear, the panic, the outrage that would erupt globally if our technology suddenly failed, if our lights went out, if our communications ceased. In a world accustomed to attributing such events to malevolent intent, the natural reaction would be to assume an act of aggression, an invasion by a hostile alien force. This perception would inevitably lead to conflict, galvanizing humanity into a defensive posture, perhaps even launching whatever primitive weaponry we could muster against the perceived threat, thus initiating a full-scale interstellar war. It would be a fight for survival, a desperate struggle against an incomprehensible enemy. On the other hand, these very same disruptions could be interpreted as a gift. Imagine the possibility that this technological reset is not meant to harm, but to liberate. Perhaps 3I Atlas intends to force humanity to detach from its over-reliance on technology, to look inwards, to reconnect with nature, or to develop new, non-polluting forms of energy. It could be a catalyst, forcing us to adapt, to innovate, and to evolve beyond our current technological limitations. By stripping away our current systems, it might be pushing us towards a higher form of consciousness, a more sustainable way of life, or a more direct, intuitive understanding of the universe. This interpretation would foster cooperation, resilience, and a profound shift in global priorities, moving humanity towards a future of shared growth and collective enlightenment. The duality of these interpretations highlights the critical choice that lies ahead. Will humanity react with fear and aggression, or with openness and adaptation? The very same event, viewed through different lenses, could lead to either annihilation or unprecedented evolution. This profound bifurcation of outcomes underscores the repeated emphasis on this event as a choice that will definitively determine which future humanity ultimately experiences. It's not a predetermined destiny, but a crucible moment, a trial by fire where our collective reaction will forge our path. This isn't just about what 3I Atlas does, it's about what we do in response. Will we succumb to our primal fears, retreating into tribalism and conflict, blaming an external enemy for our misfortunes? Or will we rise to the occasion, embracing the challenge as an opportunity for unprecedented growth, unity, and a collective leap in consciousness? The remote viewers and channelers describe this as an active decision point, a moment where humanity's free will is tested on a global scale. The outcome is not fixed, it is fluid, contingent upon our collective consciousness, our ability to choose compassion over fear and unity over division. The events of December 2025 are presented as a cosmic exam, and humanity's grade will determine its future. The profound nature of this timeline fork is further highlighted by an intriguing phenomenon reported by some remote viewers: the experience of contradictory futures at the same time. Imagine trying to perceive a single future, only to find yourself witnessing 2, 3, or even more entirely different, mutually exclusive realities simultaneously. One moment, they might see a future of global unity and enlightenment. The next, a vision of technological collapse and societal fragmentation. This unusual sensory overload, this perception of multiple potential realities coexisting in the informational field, might be precisely why so many of these seers consistently predict December 2025 as the critical point. It's not that they are simply making vague predictions, it's that they are perceiving the moment where these different potential realities diverge, where the branches of the future separate from the common trunk of the present. Their minds, tapping into a quantum realm of possibility, are registering the precise moment of cosmic decision, the point of no return, where humanity's choices solidify into a definite singular future. This phenomenon suggests that the future is not predetermined but is actively being shaped by current events, and that December 2025 represents the apex of that dynamic, the culmination of all possible choices manifesting into a tangible reality. Moving beyond purely psychic perceptions, the advent of Three Eye Atlas has also ignited intense discussion within various religious and spiritual communities. Numerous religious publications and spiritual leaders are now connecting Three Eye Atlas to deeply ingrained end-times prophecy. This isn't necessarily about apocalyptic destruction, but about a revelation, the literal unveiling of hidden truths. Many see Three Eye Atlas as a catalyst for humanity to finally confront the long-held secrets of our origins, our place in the universe, and the true nature of divinity. It's seen as a powerful agent bringing forth a deeper understanding of spiritual realities that have been obscured or misunderstood for millennia. Furthermore, some interpret Three Eye Atlas as a divine intervention vessel, dispatched by a higher power or cosmic intelligence for a very specific mission: to gather star seeds. This ties directly into a spiritual concept that has gained significant traction in recent decades, particularly within New Age and esoteric circles. The idea that star seeds are souls from other planets, highly evolved beings who chose to incarnate on Earth during this critical period to help humanity with its spiritual and evolutionary ascent. These individuals often feel a deep sense of not belonging, a longing for a home they can't quite articulate, and an innate drive to contribute to planetary healing and transformation. In this context, Three Eye Atlas is not merely an alien craft but a divine instrument, specifically designed to activate or gather these starseeds. Its arrival might be a cosmic wake-up call, designed to trigger dormant extraterrestrial DNA within these individuals, awakening their latent abilities and reminding them of their cosmic purpose. Or, perhaps more literally, it could be a vessel sent to physically retrieve them, to transport them to another dimension or a higher civilization, leaving behind those who are not ready for such an evolutionary leap. The concept of starseeds and their connection to Three Eye Atlas transforms the event from a mere scientific curiosity into a profound spiritual pilgrimage, a cosmic homecoming for a select portion of humanity, guided by a vessel that is both technological marvel and divine messenger. Reinforcing this spiritual dimension, channelers, individuals who claim to receive messages from extraterrestrial or higher dimensional entities, have added another fascinating layer to the narrative. They suggest that Three Eye Atlas is not merely a physical object but also an energetic broadcaster. Specifically, some channelers claim that Three Eye Atlas is actively broadcasting Lyran genetic codes to Earth. The Lyrans, in many channeled narratives, are considered an ancient benevolent precursor race, the ancestral origin of much of the humanoid life in our galaxy, including perhaps humanity itself. These Lyran genetic codes are not physical DNA in a biological sense, but rather energetic frequencies, informational blueprints, or vibrational patterns designed to awaken dormant extraterrestrial DNA in humans. The idea is that within every human being, there are latent genetic sequences, dormant capabilities, or suppressed memories of our cosmic heritage. The emanations from Three Eye Atlas are believed to be designed to trigger these dormant aspects, leading to profound consciousness upgrades. Imagine a planetary-wide download, a subtle energetic infusion that accelerates human evolution, expanding our perception, enhancing our intuition, and activating higher states of awareness. This would mean a rapid increase in telepathy, empathy, spiritual understanding, and a fundamental shift in our collective perception of reality. The arrival of Three Eye Atlas, then, would not be an external event, but a powerful internal one, catalyzing an inner transformation that would propel humanity into a new era of consciousness, irrevocably altering our understanding of ourselves and our place in the vast interconnected web of cosmic life. The implications are staggering, suggesting that Three Eye Atlas is not just observing, but actively participating in our evolutionary journey, guiding us towards a future that has been long foretold. We have speculated about ancient Martian civilizations, secret space programs, and prophetic timelines converging on December 2025, we have pondered whether 3i Atlas is a returning ancestor, a benevolent guide, or a mere catalyst for our evolution. But what if all these hopeful, or even mildly unsettling scenarios are overshadowed by a far more chilling reality? What if the universe is not a friendly, bustling neighbourhood, but a silent, deadly wilderness? This grim possibility brings us face to face with the dark forest dilemma. Imagine walking through a dense primeval forest at night. You know, instinctively, that there are countless predators lurking in the shadows, unseen. What is your wisest course of action? To shout, to light a fire, to make your presence known, or to move silently, to remain hidden, to blend into the darkness, hoping to pass unnoticed? The dark forest theory, popularized by Chinese science fiction author Liu Cixin, applies this terrifying logic to the cosmos, offering a stark explanation for why we have yet to unequivocally detect intelligent alien life. The theory posits that the galaxy is not a welcoming place, teeming with benevolent explorers eager to make friends. Instead, it is a dangerous, unforgiving expanse, a cosmic jungle where the fundamental rule for survival is profound, absolute silence. Advanced civilizations, according to this theory, are not driven by curiosity or altruism. They are driven by an existential imperative: survival. They understand that any other advanced civilization, encountered in the vastness of space, could be a potential threat. Resources are finite, and competition for them is inevitable. Therefore, the safest strategy for any civilization that achieves interstellar travel is to remain entirely undetectable, to maintain perfect cosmic camouflage. And if they do detect another burgeoning civilization, the most logical, albeit horrifying, response is to eliminate it swiftly and silently before it can ever become a threat. In this dark forest, every detected signal, every visible footprint, is an announcement of vulnerability, an invitation for preemptive eradication. This chilling framework suggests that the reason we don't see aliens is not because they don't exist, but because they are all listening in terrified silence, hidden in the cosmic shadows, lest they attract the attention of something far more powerful, far more ruthless. It's a universe where paranoia is a survival trait, and silence is the ultimate defense. If the dark forest theory holds true, then the arrival of 3i Atlas, particularly if it is an alien probe or mothership as described by remote viewers, represents an event of monumental, terrifying significance for humanity. For decades, we have been unknowingly camouflaged by our technological limitations, our signals too weak to reach truly distant ears, our presence too insignificant to register on a galactic scale. But with the arrival of 3i Atlas, that delicate camouflage is irrevocably broken. Its very presence, its deliberate trajectory into our solar system, means that our planet, our species, has now been noticed. We are no longer hidden in the cosmic shadows. We are visible, a potential blip on an unknown radar screen. The chilling implication is that this visibility comes with an implicit announcement of our location, our existence, and our stage of technological development to unknown intentions. Is 3i Atlas a scout for a benevolent civilization? Or is it merely the first predator to stumble upon us, its arrival signalling our position to others, perhaps far more dangerous entities lurking deeper in the galactic void? The fact that something has arrived, and that we are now undeniably observed, means that the rules of the game have changed. We are no longer passive observers of the universe. We are now a detected entity, exposed to the unknown motivations and existential imperatives of advanced civilizations that operate by the harsh, unforgiving laws of the dark forest. Our cosmic anonymity has ended, and with it, perhaps, a fragile innocence. This isn't merely speculative science fiction. It's a scenario being taken seriously by some of the world's leading scientific minds. Harvard professor Avi Loeb, a renowned astrophysicist and former chair of Harvard's astronomy department, has been at the forefront of advocating for serious investigation into anomalous celestial objects. Professor Loeb has publicly rated 3i Atlas at a 4 on his qualitative scale, which assesses the probability of an object being technological in origin. A rating of 4 signifies a 40% chance of being technological, a remarkably high probability given the scientific orthodoxy that favours natural explanations. This isn't a whimsical guess, it's a sober assessment from a respected scientist, urging caution and serious consideration. Professor Loeb's high rating for 3I Atlas means that, in his expert opinion, the unusual characteristics of this object, its trajectory, its composition, its behaviour, deviate so significantly from known natural phenomena that the possibility of it being an artificial construct simply cannot be ignored. And if there's a 40% chance it's technological, then by extension, there's a 40% chance it's under intelligent control, and therefore potentially subject to the very dark forest dilemma we are now confronting. This high rating from a prominent figure like Avi Loeb serves as a stark warning. The scientific community at its highest levels recognises that this object demands more than casual observation. It demands serious proactive precautions, acknowledging that what we are facing might be an intelligently directed entity rather than a random cosmic wanderer. His voice amplifies the urgency, urging humanity to prepare for an encounter that could redefine our scientific and existential parameters. Against this backdrop of potential cosmic threat, humanity's current capabilities appear tragically inadequate. We literally have no defences worth mentioning against an object of 3I Atlas's predicted size, moving at its astonishing velocity of 58 km per second. To put that speed into perspective, that's over 129,000 miles per hour. At that speed, an object could traverse the entire continental United States in a matter of minutes. Our most advanced interceptors, our ballistic missile defense systems, our entire terrestrial military apparatus are utterly useless against such a target. There is no weapon in our arsenal, no shield we can raise, that could effectively stop or even meaningfully deflect a kilometers-long object hurtling through space at such unimaginable velocity. Furthermore, the idea of trying to attack 3I Atlas, even if we could somehow reach it, is not just futile, it could be suicidal. Any attempt to engage it, to demonstrate aggression, or to launch a preemptive strike would be a catastrophic gamble. If 3I Atlas is indeed an advanced alien craft, a hostile response from humanity would only confirm our primitive, aggressive nature, potentially triggering the very suppression response that the dark forest theory predicts. We would be like a small, terrified animal poking a sleeping giant with a stick, utterly unaware of the catastrophic consequences. Our current military doctrines and technological capabilities are designed for terrestrial conflicts, not interstellar encounters. Against a truly advanced civilization, our weaponry would be akin to throwing pebbles at a battleship. The realization of our absolute vulnerability in the face of such a cosmic force is a humbling and deeply terrifying awakening. To further compound our precarious position, humanity has been, for over 80 years, effectively broadcasting our presence to the cosmos. Since the advent of powerful radio and television transmissions in the mid-20th century, we have been sending a steady stream of signals outwards, creating an ever-expanding bubble of our technological signature. These signals, carrying everything from sitcoms to scientific broadcasts, represent an undeniable announcement of intelligent life on Earth. From the perspective of the dark forest, this makes us a loud and dangerous potential threat. Why dangerous? Because any civilization broadcasting its presence is, by definition, one that has achieved a certain level of technological sophistication, capable of harnessing energy and manipulating its environment. Such a civilization, if left unchecked, could eventually expand, compete for resources, and pose a threat to others. Therefore, the dark forest logic dictates that such a loud civilization should be suppressed, eliminated, before it has the chance to become a greater danger. Our decades of broadcasting, once viewed as a sign of progress and an attempt at cosmic communication, now appear as a monumental act of cosmic naivety, an unwitting siren call drawing the attention of unseen predators. We have not just revealed our presence, we have announced our potential, making ourselves a target for any civilization operating under the ruthless imperative of self-preservation. Perhaps most unsettling is the profound lack of preparedness on Earth's part for such an encounter. The United Nations, the world's leading international body, has literally no protocols for first contact. Despite decades of science fiction exploring this very scenario, despite the theoretical groundwork laid by SETI, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence programs, there is no universally agreed upon framework, no established plan of action for how humanity would collectively respond to the unequivocal arrival of an extraterrestrial intelligence. Our governments, deeply mired in terrestrial squabbles and short-term political cycles, are equally unprepared. There is no unified global defense strategy, no coordinated scientific response, no clear chain of command for such a monumental event. Imagine the chaos: competing national interests, religious fundamentalism clashing with scientific reason, widespread panic, and the complete collapse of established authority. This lack of preparedness means that when 3I Atlas or its probes finally make their intentions clear, humanity will be left to react in a fragmented, disorganized, and potentially self-destructive manner. We are quite literally flying blind into the most significant moment in our history without a map, without a compass, and without a unified voice to speak for all of humankind. The very institutions we rely on for guidance and protection are utterly out of their depth, exposing our collective vulnerability. Professor Avi Loeb, echoing his call for precautions, further emphasizes the critical nature of this moment. The cost of being wrong about 3I Atlas being natural is far greater than preparing for a threat that turns out to be a false alarm. This statement encapsulates the core of the dark forest dilemma. If we dismiss 3I Atlas as a mere comet, if we fail to prepare for the possibility of it being an intelligently controlled, potentially hostile entity, and we are proven wrong, the consequences could be catastrophic, leading to the subjugation or even extinction of our species. The cost of such an error is absolute. However, if we prepare for a threat that ultimately turns out to be benign, if 3I Atlas is indeed a natural object or a benevolent presence, the cost is merely the expenditure of resources, time, and intellectual effort. This is a calculable, manageable cost. Loeb's argument is one of logical risk assessment. In the face of such profound uncertainty, with such high stakes, the only rational course of action is to assume the worst-case scenario and prepare accordingly. It's a pragmatic call to action, urging humanity to prioritize survival over complacency, to invest in preparedness even if it means confronting uncomfortable truths about our place in a potentially hostile cosmos. His words are a stark reminder that ignorance, in this cosmic game, is not bliss. It is potentially fatal. This fundamental tension, articulated so clearly by Loeb, forms the heart of the dark forest dilemma. It forces humanity to confront an agonizing choice. Do we live in fear and prepare for threats, investing immense resources in defense, surveillance, and advanced warning systems, forever looking over our cosmic shoulder? Or do we choose to ignore these potential dangers to maintain our optimistic view of the universe and risk being caught utterly unprepared if the shadows of the dark forest ever extend to our world? It's a choice between perpetual vigilance and potential oblivion. The dilemma is existential, forcing us to define our collective character. Will we be a species driven by fear or one consumed by complacency? The very act of acknowledging this choice is an admission that the universe is far from the benign anthropocentric haven we once imagined. It pushes us to consider that our future hinges on a proactive decision to either arm ourselves against the unknown or gamble everything on the assumption of universal benevolence. However, there is an alternative, a less terrifying interpretation that still accounts for cosmic silence. This is the zoo hypothesis. This theory suggests that Earth, and perhaps humanity itself, is not being ignored by advanced civilizations, but rather actively protected and monitored. We are in essence an enclosed exhibit, a planet-sized nature reserve. Advanced alien civilizations, operating under a prime directive of non-interference, might be allowing us to develop naturally, without overt contact, until we reach a certain level of social, technological, or spiritual maturity. They're watching us, allowing our civilization to unfold, but carefully preventing any premature contact that could disrupt our natural evolution. In this context, 3I Atlas could be part of a sophisticated monitoring system. Its close approach, its precise trajectory, its potential activation might not be an act of aggression, but a scheduled inspection. It could be checking on our development, assessing our progress, evaluating our readiness for eventual contact. Perhaps the electromagnetic disruptions predicted by remote viewers are not an attack, but a test, a deliberate challenge to see how we react under pressure, how we rebuild, and how we adapt. The star seeds could be part of this experiment, planted to guide our evolution, and 3i Atlas is here to evaluate the success of the project. This hypothesis offers a more comforting, albeit still unsettling, vision of our place in the cosmos. We are not alone, we are not ignored, but we are being watched, gently guided and prepared for a future integration into a wider cosmic community whenever we are deemed ready. Regardless of which theory ultimately proves true, the chilling predator of the dark forest or the benevolent observer of the zoo hypothesis, one fact remains terrifyingly constant. We have precious little time. We have only about 14 months from now until 3i Atlas exits our solar system to gather critical data, to understand its true nature, and to formulate a coherent, unified response. 14 months is an infinitesimally short period for slow-moving, bureaucratic institutions like our governments and international organizations to react, to achieve consensus, and to implement any meaningful plan. The clock is ticking, and the stakes could not be higher. Humanity stands at the precipice of its greatest challenge, forced to confront the unknown with insufficient time and fractured leadership. The universe, it seems, waits for no one, and our future hangs precariously in the balance. We stand at a crossroads, pondering dark forests, hidden histories, and prophetic forks in time. The very air seems to crackle with anticipation, as if the universe itself is holding its breath. All eyes, both visible and unseen, now turn towards a rapidly approaching cosmic deadline. The culmination of our journey through mystery and speculation hinges upon the tangible events of the coming weeks, as the veil of solar obscurity finally lifts, bringing us face to face with the object that has captivated and terrified us, 3i Atlas. This is the moment of emergence and revelation. In early November, after a tense month of being completely hidden behind the sun's blinding glare, a period of forced cosmic anonymity, 3i Atlas will re-emerge. Imagine the dramatic unfolding. A colossal, enigmatic object, lost to our direct observation for weeks, slowly, majestically, begins to become visible again in the night sky. This isn't just a minor astronomical event, it is the grand return of a central player in a cosmic drama. Its reappearance marks the end of a frustrating period of uncertainty, where scientists and curious citizens alike could only speculate about its fate. As the sun's limb slowly reveals it, 3i Atlas will once again become an observable target for telescopes across the globe, its true nature, its intentions, and its next moves poised to be laid bare before an expectant world. The moment of its re-emergence will be fraught with anticipation, a silent gasp across the planet as humanity collectively trains its instruments and its hopes on this once-hidden visitor. It is the beginning of the end of the speculation and the start of direct observation. One of the most critical observations confirming its extraordinary resilience is that 3i Atlas has successfully survived its closest approach to the Sun, known as its perihelion, intact. This seemingly technical detail holds immense significance. Most comets, being essentially dirty snowballs composed of ice, dust, and rock, would undergo extreme thermal stress during such a close encounter with our star. They typically shed vast amounts of material, developing spectacular tails, and often they fracture or even completely disintegrate under the intense solar radiation and gravitational forces. But 3i Atlas did not. The fact that it passed its perihelion unscathed, without breaking apart into a debris field, is a powerful indicator that it is either remarkably resilient, due to an unusual composition, or, far more intriguingly, that it is actively maintained. If its resilience stems from an exotic, heat-resistant material, it points to a construction far beyond any natural cometary body. If it is actively maintained, it implies an intelligence, a self-repairing mechanism, or a protective energy field constantly working to counteract the sun's destructive power. This unprecedented survival strengthens the argument against it being a natural comet, and lends considerable weight to theories of it being an artificial construct, a vessel capable of withstanding extreme cosmic environments, designed and built with capabilities far beyond our own. Its steadfast journey through the fiery embrace of the sun itself becomes a testament to its extraordinary, almost impossible nature. While ground-based telescopes will be eager to resume observations in November, a unique perspective will be offered by the European Space Agency's ESA JUICE spacecraft. JUICE, or Jupiter Icy Moons Explorer, is currently on its journey to the Jovian system, and it will be strategically positioned to observe 3I Atlas during this critical November window. This will provide an unparalleled vantage point, offering data that is free from Earth's atmospheric distortion and from a completely different angle than our terrestrial observatories. However, there's a crucial caveat. The data won't reach Earth until February 2026. This delay means that humanity will be reacting to any potential events of December 2025. The predicted probe deployment, the plasma storms, the timeline fork, without the best information available. Imagine trying to make critical, species-defining decisions without access to the clearest, most comprehensive intelligence. This delay introduces a dangerous blind spot, forcing us to rely on incomplete or less detailed observations during a period of potential crisis. Why the delay? Is it the inherent limitations of deep space communication? Or is it another layer of the deep state scenario, a strategic withholding of vital information until after the crucial events have unfolded? The timing of this data transmission, coming after the anticipated events, only exacerbates the sense of urgency and the feeling that humanity is being deliberately kept in the dark, forced to make monumental decisions with one hand tied behind its back. We will be making history without the full picture, reacting in real time to events that are only fully understood months later. In this vacuum of delayed official data, the role of amateur astronomers will be crucial in December. These dedicated individuals, often equipped with powerful backyard telescopes and an unyielding passion for the cosmos, represent humanity's distributed network of eyes on the sky. Unlike large observatories, which might be subject to official directives, limited scheduling, or the bureaucratic delays of data release, amateur astronomers are free to point their instruments wherever they choose, for as long as they choose. They will be providing continuous monitoring, tracking 3I Atlas tirelessly, day after day, night after night. Their collective efforts will be instrumental in capturing images that professional observatories might miss, either due to deliberate obfuscation, technical issues, or simple resource limitations. These citizen scientists, through their independent observations and open sharing of data, will become the indispensable ground truth, offering an unfiltered, real-time record of 3I Atlas's behaviour. Their high-resolution images, light curves, and astrometric measurements, once processed and shared across global online communities, will become the public's best, and perhaps only, reliable source of information, circumventing the official channels and providing an independent check on any narratives propagated by government agencies. In a world of secrecy, the independent eye of the amateur becomes a powerful weapon against deception, ensuring that the critical moments of December 2025 are meticulously documented, regardless of official intentions. Past observations of 3I Atlas, even before it hid behind the Sun, have already provided tantalizing clues that defy a purely natural explanation. Astronomers reported detecting angular structures within its coma, the nebulous envelope around the nucleus of a comet. Comets, by their nature, are irregular amorphous blobs of gas and dust. Angular geometric shapes are the unmistakable hallmark of intelligent design, of engineering, not natural formation. Imagine seeing perfectly straight lines or sharp corners within a cloud of gas. It immediately speaks to an artificial origin. Furthermore, observations revealed periodic variations in its brightness. While some comets exhibit erratic flaring, these variations in 3I Atlas were described as periodic, almost rhythmic. This periodicity hints at active processes within the object, perhaps internal mechanisms, rotating structures, or deliberate signalling. It's not the random flicker of a burning ice ball, it's the controlled, consistent pulsation of something engineered. These past observations, though limited, already strongly suggest an artificial construct, a vessel with discernible intelligent features and active internal systems moving through space. They are the initial fingerprints of a technologically advanced presence, leaving subtle yet undeniable traces in the cosmic dust. This accumulating evidence, particularly the high probability of artificiality, is precisely why Professor Avi Loeb's Galileo project is taking 3I Atlas so seriously. The Galileo project, launched by Professor Loeb and his team, is a cutting-edge scientific initiative, specifically designed to search for technological signatures from interstellar objects. Unlike traditional SETI, which listens for radio signals, the Galileo project actively seeks physical evidence of alien technology in space, looking for objects that defy natural explanation. They employ an array of telescopes and sensors, utilizing advanced AI and machine learning to identify and analyze anomalies. The very existence of this project, spearheaded by a scientist of Loeb's caliber, signifies a monumental shift in mainstream science. The acknowledgement that searching for physical alien artifacts is a legitimate and necessary scientific endeavor. The project is taking seriously the possibility that 3I Atlas is an artifact, a deliberate creation rather than a random rock. Their methodologies are precisely tuned to detect the very angular structures and periodic variations that have already been observed. The Galileo project's focused attention on 3I Atlas means that humanity's most dedicated scientific minds are preparing to rigorously scrutinize this object, applying the most advanced tools available to definitively determine if we are indeed looking at a natural phenomenon or a technologically advanced craft from an alien intelligence or a secret human one. Their involvement transforms the speculation into a scientific quest, a determined effort to uncover the truth using the most rigorous methods available. The upcoming December observation window is therefore not just another period of astronomical viewing. It is critical for testing predictions that have been swirling for months. This is the moment when the remote viewing claims, the channeled messages, and the dark forest warnings will either be validated or debunked. Specifically, this window will provide the opportunity to confirm or deny the predictions about probe deployment. Will smaller objects indeed emerge from 3I Atlas? If so, their number, size, and trajectory will offer invaluable insights into the mothership's intentions. Furthermore, we will be able to observe if the predicted plasma events actually occur. Will there be global electromagnetic disruptions? Will unusual atmospheric phenomena manifest? The scale and nature of any such events will be critical data points, and most importantly, December will be the period that truly reveals the onset of the timeline fork. How will humanity react to these events? Will panic ensue, or will a unified, thoughtful response emerge? Will we see the beginnings of social and technological divergence? The observations made during these crucial weeks will provide the first direct evidence, the irrefutable data, that will allow us to assess the accuracy of the myriad predictions and guide our immediate actions. It is a moment of truth, a cosmic litmus test for humanity's foresight and resilience. Ultimately, the definitive proof of artificiality for 3I Atlas would come in several key forms. First, the detection of electromagnetic transmissions. If 3I Atlas begins broadcasting structured signals, complex data, or even simple repeating patterns that are clearly not natural radio noise, it would be undeniable evidence of intelligent communication. Second, observation of active course corrections. If the object subtly or overtly changes its trajectory in a non-gravitational manner, demonstrating deliberate maneuvering rather than passive orbital drift, it would confirm intelligent control. Third, the deployment of smaller objects would be a smoking gun. The emergence of probes, shuttles, or any other smaller crafts from its hull would definitively prove its artificial nature and the presence of a contained payload. And finally, clearly designed structures, visible through high-resolution imaging such as intricate antennae, propulsion nozzles, windows, or distinct modular components, would leave no doubt that we are observing a manufactured vessel rather than a natural object. Any one of these pieces of evidence would irrevocably change our understanding of 3I Atlas and our place in the universe. The very existence and impending activities of 3I Atlas, irrespective of its ultimate origin, forces humanity to confront questions about our place in the cosmos that we have largely avoided. It shatters any comforting illusion of cosmic isolation. It compels us to reassess our isolation as a species, realizing that we may be just one civilization among many. It brutally exposes our preparedness for first contact, highlighting our utter lack of coordinated protocols or unified response. And in doing so, it will irrevocably change how we engage with space, transforming our perspective from one of distant scientific curiosity to one of immediate existential engagement. We can no longer pretend to be alone, nor can we continue to treat space as an empty void to be explored at leisure. Our cosmic coming of age is upon us, forced by a visitor from beyond. As we stand on the cusp of December 2025, humanity faces a profound duality of possibilities. Optimistic scenarios paint a picture of 3i Atlas as a benevolent messenger, bringing enlightenment, advanced knowledge, or even shared technology that could solve our planet's most pressing problems. Imagine a future of clean energy, instant interstellar travel, and cures for all diseases, gifted by an advanced civilization. Conversely, pessimistic scenarios warn of a grave threat, a prelude to conquest, or a harvesting of our planet's resources and population. Imagine a future of subjugation, conflict, or forced evolution under alien control. Both are profoundly possible, and the crucial, terrifying truth is that our response will determine the outcome. Humanity collectively holds the power to choose its destiny, to react with fear or with wisdom, with aggression or with humility. The approaching revelation is not just about 3i Atlas, it is about us, about who we are and who we choose to become in the face of the cosmic unknown. The stage is set, the curtain is about to rise, and the future of humanity hangs in the balance, awaiting its own collective decision. Our cosmic narrative has spiraled through secret histories, chilling dilemmas, and impending revelations. We've explored the extraordinary implications of 3i Atlas, from its potential as a mothership to its role in a grander, perhaps ancient agenda. But now, we must return to a ghost from humanity's past, a fleeting whisper from the stars that has haunted scientists and dreamers for nearly half a century. We speak of the WOW signal, a profound enigma that, when meticulously examined, may provide the most compelling, most undeniable evidence yet for the true nature of 3i Atlas. This is a deep dive into the WOW connection. Let us cast our minds back to a warm summer night, August 15th, 1977, at the Ohio State University Radio Observatory, affectionately known as the Big Ear. A monumental moment unfolded. The Big Ear was tirelessly scanning the heavens, listening for any sign, any whisper of intelligence beyond our planet. On that fateful night, as the telescope swept across a specific patch of sky, it detected something utterly extraordinary. A powerful 72-second burst of radio energy surged through its receivers. This wasn't static, not cosmic background noise, nor a known terrestrial signal. It was a clear, unambiguous, and profoundly anomalous transmission. The signal's intensity was so significant that Dr. Jerry Eman, the volunteer who first spotted the printout of the event, famously circled it and scribbled WOW in the margin, giving the signal its immortal name. What made the WOW signal so remarkable, so tantalizing, was its frequency. It arrived at precisely 1424 and 4056 megahertz, a frequency universally known as the hydrogen line. Imagine the universe as a vast symphony orchestra. Hydrogen, the most abundant element, the very building block of stars and life, sings at this specific frequency. It is the cosmic common language, the natural beacon for any civilization seeking to announce its presence. The WOW signal, arriving at this fundamental frequency, at an intensity 30 times greater than the background noise and lasting for exactly 72 seconds, the maximum duration the Big Ear could observe a single point in the sky due to Earth's rotation, was consistent with intelligent origin. Its characteristics were exactly what scientists had theorized an interstellar beacon might look like. It was a perfect, fleeting message, seemingly designed to be understood by any technologically capable species, a profound hello from the cosmic unknown. The origin of this singular, powerful transmission was painstakingly traced to a specific patch of sky within the constellation Sagittarius. This is not just any random quadrant of our galaxy. Sagittarius is a region teeming with stars, a bustling cosmic metropolis near the galactic center. It's a place rich with potential, a veritable ocean of suns, each with the possibility of hosting planets, and perhaps advanced civilizations. The very fact that the signal came from such a densely populated area only heightened its mystique and tantalizing potential. Yet, despite countless subsequent efforts, despite decades of pointing powerful radio telescopes at that exact same region of Sagittarius, the WOW signal has never been detected again. It was a singular, powerful utterance, a cosmic lightning bolt that struck once and then vanished, leaving behind an enduring mystery, a tantalizing hint of intelligence that refused to repeat its performance. The silence that followed was as profound as the signal itself, amplifying the enigma and fueling the yearning for understanding. Now, let us introduce the latest, most astounding twist in this decades-old mystery. Harvard's esteemed Professor Avi Loeb, using sophisticated astronomical calculations and meticulously tracing the path of 3I Atlas back through time, has arrived at a truly breathtaking conclusion. His calculations, performed with the rigor and precision expected of a leading astrophysicist, demonstrate that 3I Atlas's historical trajectory, its deep past within our galaxy, traces back to precisely the same galactic neighborhood in Sagittarius from which the WOW signal originated. Think about the profound implications of this alignment. This isn't just a vague correlation, it's a pinpointing, an almost impossibly precise match between the historic location of a mysterious signal and the deep space origin point of an equally mysterious object now approaching our planet. It transforms 3I Atlas from a random interstellar wanderer into a potential key, unlocking one of the greatest enigmas in modern astronomy. Loeb's calculations suggest a cosmic rendezvous, a preordained connection between an unsolved mystery and an imminent reality. It's as if a cold case file from the cosmos has suddenly found its prime suspect, a suspect now drawing ever closer to Earth. The very act of tracing its galactic origins back to this specific region solidifies the notion that 3I Atlas is no ordinary object, but one with a profound and perhaps deliberate connection to humanity's yearning for extraterrestrial contact. But the connection runs even deeper, extending to the precise timing of the WOW signal itself. Professor Loeb's calculations weren't limited to galactic coordinates. They also factored in the exact position of 3I Atlas at that moment in time. He determined that on August 12, 1977, just 3 days before the WOW signal was detected, 3I Atlas was about 600 times farther from the Sun than Earth. This distance, though vast, is critical. The speed of light, and thus radio waves, is finite. For a signal to travel from that specific distance to Earth would take approximately 3 days. Do you see the convergence? 3I Atlas was at a specific location 3 days before. The signal was received. The signal was received 3 days after. 3I Atlas was at that location. This isn't a random guess. This is a precise astrophysical alignment of position and light travel time. The implications are staggering. It means that 3I Atlas was in the perfect position, at the perfect time, for a transmission originating from it to reach Earth's Big Ear telescope on August 15, 1977. This tight chronological and spatial correlation is far too precise to be mere chance. It screams of intentionality, a deliberate synchronicity that defies the vast randomness of the cosmos. It transforms a coincidental observation into a compelling piece of evidence. And how improbable is this alignment? Statistical analysis reveals that the directional alignment between 3I Atlas's position on August 12, 1977 and the WOW signal's observed origin in the constellation Sagittarius is extremely improbable by chance. The probability, calculated with scientific rigor, stands at a vanishingly small 0.6%. To put that into perspective, you have a higher chance of being struck by lightning in your lifetime than for this alignment to occur purely by random cosmic coincidence. This isn't just a remote possibility, it's an almost impossible roll of the cosmic dice. This minuscule probability is the scientific equivalent of a flashing neon sign, screaming that something more than randomness is at play. It's a powerful statistical indictment of the natural comet hypothesis, pushing us forcefully towards the conclusion that this connection is not accidental, but intentional, a deliberate act of communication from an intelligent source. The 0.6% probability elevates the WOW signal from an intriguing anomaly to a profound, almost irrefutable, piece of evidence linking it directly to the colossal object now approaching our planet. Of course, for 3I Atlas to have transmitted the WOW signal, it would require a power source and a transmitter of immense capability. This isn't a small handheld device. We're talking about a signal strong enough to traverse hundreds of astronomical units and still be detectable by Earth's nascent radio astronomy technology of the 1970s. Professor Loeb's calculations suggest that to generate such a signal, 3I Atlas would have needed a powerful nuclear reactor equivalent transmitter. The power output required would be in the range of 0.5 to 2 gigawatts. To put that in context, a large modern nuclear power plant on Earth typically generates around 1 gigawatt of electricity. So, 3i Atlas would have needed to harness and direct energy equivalent to 1 or 2 of our most powerful nuclear reactors just to send that brief 72-second pulse. This isn't just about advanced technology, it's about a mastery of energy generation and directed transmission on a planetary scale. Such a power source and transmitter would be indicative of a truly advanced civilization, one capable of not only constructing colossal vessels, but also powering them, with immense energy output far beyond our current capabilities. It further cements the idea of 3i Atlas as a technological marvel, an engineered beacon rather than a passive cosmic wanderer, capable of transmitting targeted messages across vast interstellar distances with deliberate precision. The WOW signal's unique characteristics, its brevity and highly targeted nature, also offer clues about how 3i Atlas might have transmitted it. The signal lasted exactly 72 seconds, the maximum time the Big Ear could observe a single point in the sky as Earth rotated. This brevity suggests it wasn't a continuous broadcast, but rather a brief focused pulse. This aligns perfectly with the idea that 3i Atlas might have been rotating, perhaps slowly, as it traversed space. Imagine a lighthouse in the cosmic ocean. A rotating object with a powerful directional transmitter could send a beam of radio energy sweeping across space. As it rotated, its signal would briefly illuminate Earth, sending a pulse of radio energy in our direction before rotating away, making it appear as a single powerful burst. This sweeping past Earth explanation would account for the signal's precise duration and its non-repeatability. It wasn't meant to be continuous, it was a transient announcement, a brief flash in the pan. The very nature of the WOW signal, therefore, serves not as a counter-argument to 3i Atlas's involvement, but as a compelling piece of evidence describing how such an intelligent transmission could have occurred from a rotating distant vessel, sending a focused beam across the cosmic void, a deliberate yet fleeting wave to a nascent civilization. Further linking 3i Atlas to an advanced energetic propulsion or power system are its observable characteristics. Remote viewers, as we discussed, have reported 3i Atlas exhibiting a green glow, an unusual luminescence that defies natural cometary behaviour. Comets primarily glow from reflected sunlight, or from the emission of specific molecules like cyanide, blue-green, or C2, greenish, from their tails, but a sustained inherent green glow from the body itself is highly anomalous. If this glow is intrinsic to the object, it could be the visible manifestation of a powerful internal energy source, or propulsion system. Coupled with this, the alleged pure nickel emissions, without iron, detected from 3i Atlas further strengthen the case for a technologically advanced origin. As noted before, pure nickel is an exceptional material, but its presence, especially without the more common iron, could be more than just a structural component. It could be exhaust from such a nuclear propulsion or power system. Imagine a fusion or fission drive operating at immense power, designed to propel a kilometers-long vessel across interstellar distances. The byproducts of such a system, the waste products or plasma efflux, could indeed contain unusual elements, potentially even vaporized components of its own, advanced structure including pure nickel. The green glow and the unusual elemental emissions, when viewed together, paint a consistent picture of a highly energetic, intelligently powered craft, rather than a mundane natural comet. They are the visible and spectral fingerprints of an artificial high-technology entity. Despite the mounting scientific anomalies, the perplexing trajectory, the remote viewing data, and now the profound WOW signal connection, NASA still officially calls 3i Atlas a comet. This steadfast adherence to the most conservative natural explanation in the face of so much contradictory evidence raises serious questions about institutional inertia, scientific orthodoxy, or even a deliberate policy of obfuscation. Why would the world's leading space agency continue to insist on a simple explanation when mounting anomalies challenge this simple explanation at every turn? Is it because the implications of it not being a comet are too profound for humanity to bear? Is it a way to manage public perception, to prevent panic, or to buy time while secret protocols are activated? The reluctance of official channels to acknowledge the clear scientific deviations from cometary behaviour only reinforces the narrative of a coordinated cover-up or a cautious, slow-drip disclosure. This official labelling, while seemingly benign, serves to downplay the true significance of 3I Atlas, keeping it safely within the realm of known, understood celestial mechanics, rather than confronting the paradigm-shattering possibility of intelligent, artificial origin. Their continued insistence on its cometary nature becomes less about scientific accuracy and more about narrative control, a deliberate effort to maintain a fragile status quo. Given the almost irrefutable link between 3I Atlas and the WOW signal, a critical and obvious course of action presents itself. Radio telescopes should be monitoring 3I Atlas for signals at the hydrogen line. If 3I Atlas transmitted the WOW signal in 1977, then it is entirely plausible, even probable, that it will attempt to communicate again, or that its power systems emit detectable radiation at that same telltale frequency. This targeted monitoring is not merely a scientific curiosity. It is a desperate search for answers, a proactive attempt to re-establish contact with the source of one of humanity's greatest cosmic enigmas. This becomes even more crucial as it emerges from solar conjunction in November-December, with 3I Atlas no longer obscured by the Sun and entering its most active phase. This period offers the prime opportunity to detect any repeating, WOW-like signals or other intelligent transmissions. The failure to rigorously monitor 3I Atlas at this specific, highly probable frequency would be a monumental dereliction of scientific duty, a missed opportunity of historic proportions. The world's radio observatories therefore bear a tremendous responsibility to listen, to tune into the cosmic conversation, to see if the silent whisper of 1977 will once again echo across the void, revealing its source and its purpose. It's a chance to turn a decades-old mystery into a present-day conversation, to bridge the gap between a fleeting ghost and an undeniable reality. Ultimately, if 3I Atlas truly sent the WOW signal, the implications are nothing short of universe-altering. It means that this colossal object has been monitoring Earth for at least 48 years. 48 years. That's nearly half a century of observation, of data collection, of witnessing humanity's technological ascent, its cultural shifts, its wars, its scientific breakthroughs. This isn't a random encounter. It's a long-term surveillance mission, a sustained period of quiet observation, leading to a deliberate, precise engagement. And if that is the case, then 3I Atlas's current arrival is not an accident of orbital mechanics. It is a targeted interaction. It means it is here for a reason, its mission carefully planned, its trajectory deliberately chosen. It is not random, it is purposeful. This transforms the entire narrative, shifting it from an unknown variable to a known entity with a history, with intentions, and with a connection to a specific moment in humanity's quest for extraterrestrial life. The WOW connection is the ultimate cosmic breadcrumb, leading us directly to the doorstep of 3I Atlas, changing it from a puzzling visitor into a direct participant in humanity's unfolding destiny, a participant that has been watching us, waiting, and now, finally, arriving. We have journeyed through astonishing revelations from the chilling theories of ancient Martian civilizations and humanity's own secret space programs, to the prophetic warnings of a timeline fork and the unsettling implications of the Dark Forest dilemma. We have stared directly at the undeniable cosmic echo of the WOW signal, tracing its origins back to the very object now approaching our world. Each piece of evidence, each theory, each prediction has peeled back another layer of the extraordinary truth surrounding 3I Atlas. But let us be clear, the narrative of 3I Atlas is not a story confined to history books or distant scientific journals. It is not a tale of the past. The truth is unfolding now, in real time, above our very heads, as the colossal object emerges from behind the Sun, preparing for its December rendezvous. Every observation, every potential signal, every calculated trajectory points to a revelation so profound it will shatter our perception of reality and redefine humanity's place in the cosmos. When the definitive truth about 3I Atlas is finally laid bare, whether it's a returning Martian ark, a silent predator from the dark forest, or a cosmic way station to a galactic federation, what side of history will you have been on? Will you have been an informed observer, an active participant in seeking understanding and questioning the official narrative? Or will you have been one who remained in the dark, caught unaware by a truth that was unfolding all around them? This is why your role, right now is more crucial than ever. We are not just viewers, we are witnesses. Join this growing community of truth seekers. Hit that like button to amplify this vital information, subscribe to stay ahead of every new development, and most importantly, share this investigation. Share it with your friends, your family, your colleagues, with everyone you know. Because the universe, in its infinite majesty and unfathomable complexity, is not waiting for humanity to catch up. It is moving, it is arriving, and it is bringing a truth that will redefine everything you thought you knew. The countdown has begun. Are you ready?